was talks of Bill and Smith. He didn't want it. All I can say, I've signed a free fight deal, and it's a very good contract. Got peanut butter stuck in my teeth.
Stranger things have happened, but nothing more strange than getting Jack Massey in the back of a pub car park on a Monday afternoon. Welcome back, Jack.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just juggling a few things around. Just been training. Got this Zoom call, and then I'm off to get my hair cut. So I thought I'd try and drive as close as possible to the barbers, and then I won't be late then.
Listen, you look absolutely amazing. I can't see the trim, but it doesn't look like it's too out of control. So I don't know what you're going for on the weekend.
It's not too bad. I don't. I'm not one of them what gets all wild. I mean, I can't grow a beard anyway, but
not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. No, so just getting fight ready.
Absolutely, but first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Because I saw your manager put like news coming soon.
Yeah.
And, like, straight away, I was like, Zuffa, like with a question mark, like what's going on? Yeah. And then it was like, okay, he's fighting on the Zuffa card. And then we saw the opponent, Cheavon Clarke. Yeah. And that was it. Then I fell out my seat. I was like, absolutely amazing. Let's go. Yeah. Jack, talk to us. It's been busy. You've been busy. The last time I saw you was at a boxer show. You was talking about potentially fighting Chris Smith. That never come through. And then it's like, here we are today.
Yeah, we just followed him. We followed him over to the Zuffa. No, but it's do you know what? It's great. We spoke to those guys at Zuffa. We've got to call them apparently.
Sorry, apologies. Zuffa Boxing.
I know, yeah.
We're going to get accredited at this rate.
Tomato sort of thing, but apparently it's even English have got to pronounce it Zuffa, but yeah, really exciting. We spoke to them guys and we liked what we heard. I think one of the main things is knowing when we're going to be fighting. I think because Dana White's schedule's it's so busy with the UFC and everything else. Everything's planned, a year in advance. So he knows his dates, hugely in advance. Not like, you get 6 weeks notice in the right. You're going to be fighting in 6 weeks or whatever. I think we're going to be getting a date. When we get out of the ring, you're going to be fighting, around this time. So it's what I've always wanted in boxing, and that's amazing. I think it's one of the main things, rather than just being in the gym, it's ticking over. But sometimes it can drain on you mentally, and just chasing a carrot and not knowing when you're going to be fighting or who you're going to be fighting. So it's absolutely looking really, really positive.
Yeah, I think that's something that you've touched on there, that if any other fighter watches this, they can probably relate to it too, because that song that you've just said there is, I'm in the gym, I'm ticking over, I'm just waiting for a fight day, and it can drain on you mentally. How do you keep training when there is no fight date? How have you kept going, Jack? Because when was the last time you just got to be
ready. I think you just got to be ready. The last one was November, so you've just got to stay ready, because you do get, the phone does, ring in the end. Me and Zuffa are in the same position. We were both, before I signed with Zuffa, we were both like, training, turning up, sparring. I was helping out Fraser Clarke for his fight, sparring. And, we were both like talking to each other and, thinking it with each other back and forth. Like it is very stressful. And, but, we've got a date now, and now Zuffa's got a date, and it's just part and parcel of boxing, I suppose. And you've just got to, get around that sort of, that mental challenge, and just stay in the gym and stay ready. At the end of the day, it's what we do, isn't it? Just stay fit and stay in the gym. But yeah, it can be some days can be a bit draining when you haven't got a fight coming up.
But when you got the news and you knew what was going on, what was that like to finally think, okay, now we're talking? What was that like when you got that call and it started to get into fruition?
Yeah, it was like Christmas come early, but it was great because, like I said, I was in a good place. I was helping Fraser out, doing rounds with him for his fight coming up. So I was in a great place. I was, in sparring, timing's there, sparring fitness is there, and everything else. So yeah, it couldn't have worked at a better time, really.
And getting Fraser ready for, obviously that was the Justice Honey fight. I'd say he did an absolutely excellent job, because that was, not to digress onto Fraser, but I've never seen Fraser fight that well until he's obviously switched over to you, like in Manchester.
Yeah, he absolutely smashed it, and he did really, really well. And you think of how much he's changed being with Joe since, I think he come in January. It wasn't that long a time. It's more and more time and progression. He's going to look even better. So yeah, it was a good fight.
But how long have you been with Joe? You know what he's like. You know what his training's like. What's your relationship been like with Joe over the years?
Yeah, great. Do you know he's really, really good at that's one of Joe's mottos as well, staying in the gym and staying fight ready, which is great. And it's great that I've been in that gym and stayed ready, because we got this phone call. Because he always says you got to stay 6 weeks ready, because you never know when the phone's going to go, and that's happened. So that's absolutely great. But yeah, been with Joe. I've been with Joe now for 3 years. Yeah, just over 3 years, I think it's been. So yeah, absolutely love it. Joe's knowledge in boxing is, second to none. Everything he says, it just hits. Do you know what I mean? It just everything makes sense. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Your opponent. We got to get to your opponent. A great opponent for a Zuffa debut for both of you. You two are great opponents for each other. That fight, then, when it was put on the table, what was the response? Was you like, oh, you know what, I'll take any fight? Or was it like, actually, no, I want to make sure this is potentially competitive for me?
No, when we first signed it, there was talks of Bill and Smith. He didn't want it, and then they come up with that. No, unfortunately, his team didn't want it. So another week went by, and they come up with that name, and that was like, yes, let's have it. Let's go. Great, great fight, great domestic fight, and suits me down to the ground.
With this fight he's coming into, because obviously the last fight he had was with Vidal Riley, and we all saw how that one went. Do you fear, and when I say fear, at the back of your mind, are you worried that it's potentially an injured animal? So you got to make sure, not that you switch off in any of your fights, Jack, but I'm saying you go in against potentially a wounded animal. So it's like, there's no time for any mistakes whatsoever, because Chev has got a lot of power.
Yeah, definitely. He's a dangerous fighter, and I think when you see with me, when I know I've got a threat in front of me, that's when you see the best out of me, whether it's in fights or sparring. If you look at my fights, the guys what I've sort of been, I've not took my eye off the ball purposefully, but just like that, like the last fight, the Argentinian. I'm not going to lie, struggled to get up for it. And he turned out to be a potential banana skin. He had me down the first time I've ever been down from a headshot in my boxing career. But yeah, that obviously I had to switch back on with that. But yeah, when I've got a threat in front of me, that's when you see the best Jack Massey, and that's where I want to be. I want to be in these competitive fights. That's where you see the best out of me, and that's when I perform.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you, Jack, and this is, you know what boxing's like. It's a very, albeit you can say it's a very masculine sport. It's very bitchy and catty at times. And a lot of people, some people in the media have said the ones that are going to Zuffa are going there because they have no aspirations of becoming a world champion. It's kind of like the has-beens. I mean, if you do hear anything like that, obviously I'm saying that to you now, what do you think of that? And what would your response to those comments be?
I don't think so. I think it's absolutely wrong that people are saying that. They're signing the most competitive fighters. There's a lot of fighters in Zuffa now. You look at them, and it's the guys what want to fight. It's not the guys what are cherry picking and try to cherry pick their way to the top. You know, you look at the cruiserweight division and who they sign. I know Bill and Smith might be running from me, but you know, Bill and Smith, he does you know, he fights anyone. You got Brandon Glanton, fights anyone, good fighter. You got Chev, doesn't shy away from a fight, fights people. It's all people are willing to test themselves and be the best that they can and be the best. So it's
Pattaya, yeah.
yeah, Pattaya, you know, I mean, you can't say he's past it, can you? He's the number one in the cruiserweight division. So yeah, I think it's obviously it's you know, it's new. So you can't throw accusations around like that. It's a very new, well, it's not a new promotion, it's been good, but it sparks back up, and you know, they're signing all these fighters, and it's fresh. So I think a lot of people are going to start coming over to Zuffa because they're going to see what it's about, and it's a real promotion where you're not, you know, you're not waiting for fights. You're not getting old overnight waiting around for big fights. You're in there, you're fighting, you got momentum, you're snowballing. So I think that's the best way boxing should be. That's how it should run, and that's when you see the best fights. You know, you're not waiting around for big fights to be made, and you know, when people are over the hill and too old, it's happening.
When you look at, because you've experienced a couple of, you know, working with a couple of promoters, what is it that, I know you've mentioned that obviously there's a schedule, you potentially got your fights lined up for the next 12 months. There's that side of it. But what makes Zuffa stand out, sorry, from the other promoters that you've worked with?
I think the professionalism. I think we're going to see this week. I'm going down to Bournemouth tomorrow. I think we're really going to have a surprise of how professional it's going to be. You know, I've had messages off nutritionists. There's 3 people in the group that are all going to look after you free of charge. You're going to have you know, sports masseuses down there helping you out. You know, we've got availability to the UFC gym over in Las Vegas anytime you want to go over there and train, and you've got nutritionists over there who will look after you 24/7, doing your massages as well. And I think it's really going to be, you know, you look at America and how America does things with sports, NFL, boxing, basketball, all that sort of thing. They're really treated well and they're looked after, and I think that's how Zuffa is going to be.
It's interesting that you say that because, you know, like I said, I'm sitting on the outside. You know, I'd love to sit down and have an hour conversation with Dana White. That, you know, like rocking or shit would never happen. But there's so many things that I'd love to sit down and, you know, ask him about and what makes their boxing different. This is your Zuffa debut. So yeah. I'd love to hear him like lay out everything. You've told us stuff that I didn't know there, which is obviously the red carpet treatment, nutritionist, free nutrition, you know, sports massages, making sure that, you know, you're in shape, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's how it should be. You know, look at any other sports, you know, football, the athletes are looked after and the everything's prepared for them, and it's, you know, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders, you know, someone looking into your nutrition and getting in for a massage when you feel, or if you have a little niggles and this and that, you can get in with someone to be seen. It takes a lot of pressure off, and it helps people to be professional athletes, which is what we are at the end of the day. I think boxing's always been a little bit sort of left behind in that case.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be a little bit rogue. We have got a reputation of it being a bit of a rogue sport. But it's interesting to hear you say, like, you know, there's a few positives that I picked out from there for sure. One of the other things as well that has been a little bit of a horror story, it's like the contracts you're signing. Like, are they like, I don't know, lifetime contracts that you can't come out with? Are you going to end up being paid less than your market value? Maybe there was a carrot signing on fee and it was great, and then you're going to be not paid well moving forward. Can you rebut any of that, Jack?
All I can say, I've signed a free fight deal, and it's, you know, it's a very good contract, and you know, it's not like that at all. what you're saying there. It's nothing like that at all. You win, it goes up. You lose, they bring you back, but it's not terrible money. That's all I can say on that. But yeah, it is really good.
So it's like a promotion then. So there's always that incentive to win then, isn't there? If your money's
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
go up.
what they want to do is run it like the UFC, where it's like, in boxing, sometimes when people lose, they're just, thrown to the bottom of the pile and forgotten about. I think what they want to do is they want to put fights on. They want to put the best fights on, the best fighting the best. Right, if someone styles make fights, if this guy beats this guy like in the UFC, that'd be good to see him fight this other guy what's, a different style. And do you know what I mean? It's the second best might get beat by the best, but the third best, he might be the third. Do you know what I mean? It's like that sort of style. Try to explain it, but
I get
yeah,
it.
it's. So it's a little bit like the UFC, how they run things.
Have they given you 3 potential fights? I know you've mentioned at this time Chris Billum Smith has said no. It's a 3-fight deal, so win, lose or draw, you get your 3 fights.
Yeah.
Looking forward, not looking over, but looking forward. Who are the
No,
other 2 potential fighters that you could fight after Saturday?
listen, I don't think it's any mistake that they're putting us on the Bournemouth show. No, it's 4.5 hours away from me. And it's not close for Chev either. So I think putting us on the chief support or the co-main event, it's we'll obviously see what happens with his fight as well. So yeah, I don't think they've done that, not intentionally.
I like that. I like the subtleties there. I'm excited. I'm happy
Yeah,
for you because I've met you a couple of times, spoke a couple of times off camera, maybe
yeah.
once on camera, but you're just a likable person,
Thank you.
you know.
Appreciate it.
I honestly, I wish you all the best. I'm happy that you've got this contract. It seems like it's a really good deal for you,
Yeah,
and it's what you need because
yeah,
I hear the horror stories about the fighters just in the gym every day, just waiting. Like you
yeah,
said, you age overnight. Boxing is
yeah.
not a career that you can carry on until pension age.
No,
It's a
people need
really
to be
short
fighting.
career.
I think the problem is with boxing, it does wind me up because I can do it as well. Everyone wants a Superman in the sport. Everyone wants the best of the best and a Usyk or someone who never gets beat. You got to step back away from that and look at boxing as a whole. It's entertainment. People want to see good fights. A Superman what never gets beaten. He's the top of the thing. It's like, man, just watch boxing for what it is. It's entertainment for people. The best fighting the best. That's how it should be, and I think that's where Zuffa's going to be with it. It's going to be really, really entertaining fights. You're not these guys what are cherry picking to get to the top and, oh, I'm not going to tune into the strong because he's fighting at nobody. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're all going to be good fights.
That's one of the things I would say about the bare knuckle fights that I went to on the weekend. Um, there were 50-50. I think there was one fight that might have been a slight mismatch.
Yeah,
But other than that, there was 12 fights on the card, Jack. And it
yeah,
was an absolute tear up from the beginning to
yeah,
the end. Rarely went to
yeah,
points. And there were good fights. And I can't
yeah,
tell you off the top of my head, I can't say, oh yeah, that one lost or that one lost. All I remember is the good fights. I was
yeah,
entertained all night.
yeah. Exciting fights. But you look at how, like going back to the UFC, how they do. Conor McGregor got beat a couple of times, but he's still a massive, massive name when he was fighting. People like that. These guys are getting beat, but then they're coming back, and they're winning these titles and getting back to the top. So I think that's how it should be. Just get in there and fight and entertain the people. That's what we're there for, to be honest. At the end
Well,
of
I
the
think
day.
I'm guaranteed that from you on the weekend, you and Chef
Yeah.
Clark. Listen, I wish you both, all the best. I'm going to let you go because I know you got to get your trim because you got your 4 hour.
Yeah, I'm just.
Are you driving down there? Is somebody else driving?
I'm getting the train to Bournemouth.
Oh,
Getting the
that's
train.
all right then. At least you can chill
Yeah,
out because it's like
yeah.
it's
Getting the
really
train.
it's a real long journey.
Yeah. I think it's about 4.5 hours. I think it's the same in the car, 4.5
Yeah,
hours
it
on the
is.
train as well.
So you
So
might
yeah,
as well just go on the train.
yeah, little chugger train. So
Listen,
would be all good.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Listen, all the best then. I'll catch up with you soon, no doubt.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
but yeah, look after yourself and say hello to the gym as well. You got some nice fighters in there. Just say hello to them.
Yeah. All good fighters coming up now. So yeah, good stuff. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks very much.
Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jack Massey.